So, what do you think is what are some of the most important things you've learned? Like, what did you get? Are there any surprises along the way? Talking to these dads, any epiphanies that you thought were bedrock before?
Yeah, so here's one epiphany um, that I it's always really rang true, and that is if you don't know how to be a good father and husband, and I say that with so much context of like being good. I think just about every man out there has good intention, right? But if you don't know what to do as a husband and father, well, welcome to the club. You're in good company, right? And if you don't know what to do as a father, like, well, welcome to the club. You're in good company. But I always tell men this. I was like, man, if you don't know what you're doing, you know what? Number one, most people don't. And it's probably not your fault that you don't know what to do, because it's not like they pull you aside in high school and they're like, hey, we just launched this new class. It's on conflict resolution, communication, how to develop more intimacy in your marriage when you guys get married. It's not like you take like several classes on parenting before you become a parent. But quadratic equations, you can learn that in school, right? And that's really useful. But I think the tough love that I have there is, if you don't know what you're doing, you're in good company, and it's probably not your fault. But here's the rub, and here's the tough love. If you don't know what you're doing, it is your fault if you don't go learn, because now there are resources out there that are endless, right? And I think men now have a better chance now more than ever to overcome their own story, and I'll just say for what it is, their own BS story about how they can't be a good dad because of maybe where they came from or what they did or whatever. You can learn anything you want. It's no different than like yourself, like in the military, right? I mean, not every single man who goes to basic training has a desire to be in the military, but they don't know what they're doing yet until they are trained to do so. And then once they're trained to do so, well, now they're much more equipped to go out and do their job, right? But throwing like, you know, a man or a woman, doesn't matter, into the battlefield without any training. Like, I mean, can you imagine showing up to basic training and like, hey, yeah, we've done away with basic training. We're actually just going to deploy you tomorrow, and here's your weapon, and here's all your uniform, and don't worry, you'll figure it out. Best time of your whole life. But that's fatherhood and marriage, right?
Well, don't get me started on how many soldiers on the battlefield act like they never went through basic. But uh, yeah, that's no, it's kind of fatherhood. The head scratcher, and what do I do in this situation? Wing it. Was that the impetus behind the alliance? How long until that came along?
Yeah. So I was podcasting for a year, and I started having, the audience, I started having people reach out to me for coaching, and I'm like, coaching, I was like, I don't even know what I'm doing. Why would I try to teach you what to do? I don't even know what I'm doing.
Have you been listening to the show? I don't know what I'm doing.
Haven't you heard all the dumb things I do? But I decided, I joined so the Alliance is our mastermind community for dads, husbands, and fathers. And I'll tell you that that's a group of very uncommon men, right? Because they step into something that they have to sidestep their ego and be like, hey, I want to learn. I want to be uncommon. I want to learn how to lead and be a better father, better husband, all those things. And I didn't really understand what that was until I joined my first mastermind in 2015. And I remember like the mastermind, how it was described to me. And I remember my first mentor and everything. And I was like, what is this? I don't understand this. Like, what do you mean mastermind? And I'll never forget, even the price tag for the mastermind was $500 a month. And that was 10 years ago. And the Alliance is only $97 a month, but $500 a month. And it was more high level, but I was like, $500 for what? And my mentor was like, just trust me, just join and you'll get it when you're in there. And I'm like, okay. And 10 a.m. every Monday, I'll never forget jumping into my very first meeting with these men. And we talked. I knew these guys for 15 minutes, and they welcomed me in. And immediately, no small talk. We're getting right to the heart of like, how's your mental health? How's your marriage? How's your communication with your wife? How's your intimacy with your wife? What is it like with your kids? How's your patience level with that? How can we help you with that? It was like, Aaron, all the questions of life that I ever wanted to know were in that room. And that first meeting, I was like, this is what a mastermind is? Oh man, I'm in. I stayed in that thing for a year and I could not get enough of it. And it was after a year, I was like, I think I'm going to go start this for fathers and husbands and just see what happens. I went out and I asked 10 people that I knew were kind of big fans and that had kind of messaged me. I'm like, hey, I'm thinking about starting something. Here's what it looks like. And they were like, we're in. Yeah, let's do it. And that's how the alliance got started. I invited 15 people in and we've been going for almost 10 years. It's crazy.
And how many members now?
We have about 800 members, and I think over the past 10 years, we've helped about 4,000 guys, 4 or 5,000 guys.
That's incredible. What are some of the biggest changes you've seen in yourself since starting the Dad Edge, podcast, like the Facebook journal blog page?
I have found that talking about the good and the bad has been really relatable for people,
Hmm.
and just never being afraid to ask any question. Like a question, like a question that might be burning on some man's mind is like, hey man, like my wife and I don't really feel that close right now. Our intimacy is off. Like, I don't know how to talk to her. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Like, what do I do? Like those types of questions and conversations, man, I love stuff like that because that's where I think we can truly help people. But I think for me, what's really helped me, I'll just share like a high level thing. My oldest son is graduating high school in a week, and my wife decorated our house, our upstairs, with pictures. She got 300 pictures of him printed off, everything from him, like literally infancy, all the way to him being 19 now. And she just posted them all over the house. And we live in a ranch, so it's on the main level. And Aaron, I went through there and I looked at every single photo and all these memories and all these connections and all these moments with these kids. And he's obviously one of 4 boys that I have. And I literally sat back and I thought to myself, thank God for this mission and thank God for this movement because I don't think this would have ever happened. I don't think these moments I would have never been a part of. I'll be really honest with you, Aaron. If it wasn't for this mission, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't. I was so lost, and I know for a fact I would have been divorced. I know I would have 2 boys and not 4, and those 2 boys probably wouldn't want much to do with me, and I would have lived a very sort of tragic life in a way, of my kids not probably wanting much to do with me and my wife not wanting much to do with me. And I think if I really dial in what we do and what I've really learned the skills of how to connect with my wife, how to love my wife best, and how to love my wife in the way that she receives it, not necessarily in the way that I want to give it. As far as my boys, like I know how to connect with them. I know that their 3 needs are to feel seen, heard, and safe, no matter what age they are, no matter if they're a boy or a girl, that's their needs. And if I can fulfill those needs and I can connect with them, that's a good thing because with connection, I can have influence. Without connection, I have no influence, right? So my main goal is to always connect with my kids. I never knew how to do that. Um, you always hear about these kids talking about, or these young adults talking about, like, man, I had the best dad. I had a great dad. My dad talked to me. He played with me. He was in my life. He wasn't just a box checker. Like that guy really cared about me. He took time with me and really, really was a powerful force in my life. I was not that guy. I can honestly say that I'm that guy now more than I was. Um, but it's taken so much. It's taken a lot of work.